Hello, Banner community. This is Tina Marie, co-editor of Raising the Standard, where we are sharing thought-provoking nuggets for banner wielders like you. Today, we have a very special guest to share with you for this issue. Her name is Jackie Travis. She's a very dear friend of mine. And Jackie previously used to work with the Standards. Well, I won't say previously, she still actually does, but has decided to transition and start to include the banners in her repertoire of ministry. And so I thought it not robbery to share why. So Jackie, our first question, we're gonna jump right in. What's making you transition to include the larger banners in your ministry now?
What's making me transition into the larger banners is the beauty and the fullness of the banner. And the more expression of the banner and the more visibility of the banner that your congregation can see and actually understand the purpose of the banner, because most of the larger banners have symbols that represent God and represent Jesus Christ and represent the Holy Spirit. So you're reaching a broader visualization to your audience, to set their standards and their eyes to look to God for your ministering of your flags.
So here's my next question then. Has that transition between the standard size that you're accustomed to using been different, or do you experience any differences between transitioning from the standard size to the banners? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it took a little bit of adjustment, just like learning the flags. It takes adjustment and techniques on how do you handle your instruments properly. So it took adjustment. It took learning tools and different instructions from instructors like Tina.
Have you had the opportunity to use the banners yet? And if so, what's that been like? Have you noticed a difference in terms of impact, or is it about the same as when you use the standards, or what's that experience been like for you?
It is a different experience because I see the vastness of the larger banners. So I try to use that vastness to represent the different movements that God will be speaking to me while I'm ministering. So in every movement that I do when I'm ministering in flags, I listen for God to tell me where to go, where to move them, and how to move them. That's where the teaching comes in on how you can properly use the poles and the flags in order to make sure that they're in the proper position, that you don't make people afraid, or that it doesn't fly off. Different techniques. So it makes a difference in your expression and your body, because God puts a different type of spiritual emotion on you when you're using a larger congregation.
Yes.
Because now you know the people are looking at the flags. Some people look at your face and expression, but most of the time the direction is towards the flag. Such a broad-based manner in teachings of classes. Excellent teacher showing the representation of banners and how they are properly supposed to be used as your instruments of demonstration of God.
Absolutely. So having said that, what would you say to anyone who's on the edge, considering using the larger banners? That doesn't mean you have to forego your current ones, but how would you encourage someone else to want to give it a try, or for someone who's never experienced the standards or the banners to begin with, what would be your word of encouragement that you'd share with them?
Word of encouragement is to pick it up, feel it in your hands, find people who that you have saw demonstrated the flags and standards and the banners usage, and get information from them, get teaching from them, because at first I was very hesitant in using the banners in the larger congregational flags based on my size and my height and my arm length. And I thought it would be a deterrent because the poles are taller than I am and the flags are half my height. So I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm be able to use them. But learning and watching and being taught and being encouraged by others, people who have been using them longer than I became comfortable And with baby steps, I began to use them and to grow into becoming better using the banners as a visual aid in the demonstration of God's power.